Player housing is probably one of the must-have features of any MMO that aims to give its players a sense of immersion. It gives the player a space in that world that they can call theirs, a space that they can customize however they want. And some MMOs do it better than others. My first contact with player housing left such an impression on me that to this day I still think it is the right way to make player housing. I was walking down the streets of Thais, fresh off the temple to which I'd been teleported from the tutorial island. Every building had multiple levels. There were lots of players running around or just chatting, some within those buildings themselves. As I passed by the windows of the ground level, I can look inside each house. Even though the game was 2D, all the items I saw made my imagination run wild. I pictured all of the monsters the owners of these houses must have slain in order to attain these items they proudly displayed. Tibia had real space player housing, and players were able to put their items in any tile inside the house. They could buy furniture and place the items on top of the furniture. There were houses with floors covered in colorful pillows, on top of which there were golden armors, dragon scale mail, and a coveted magic plate armor. When I was finally able to rent my own house, I proudly decorated it with my own achievements. But this kind of housing is not really easy to achieve. You need a lot of space in your game world in order to give every player a fair chance at having their own house. And let me tell you that Tibia did suffer from this to an extent. But just imagine the sheer size of cities in World of Warcraft if you'd need to cram about 1,000 apartments in each of them. The scale would have been something to behold, but reality is that it's simply not practical. Do you really want to take 10 minutes to cross the entirety of the city? How do you manage all the assets in each house being loaded and rendered? I believe that these are the main reasons why most MMORPGs on the market offer instance housing instead. The tragedy of which is that you can't really show off your place to the hundreds of random passers-by. Some games, like Arcade, decided to go a different route entirely, allowing the players to own a plot of land in certain areas of the game world where they can build their own houses. This does, however, create a problem where if the player base grows too much, which for Arcade, I mean, it won't happen anytime soon, it will not happen at all. Some players will be unable to own their own house. Well, fellow viewer, welcome to my house in the world of Aeternum. I've decided to buy a house in Monarch's Bubs, not only because the town looks picturesque, which it definitely does, but because the crafting benches were all level 4 and 5. I had to work on the town's projects to help out the people of the region to gain their trust, and once I earned enough reputation, I was allowed to buy this home. I played through the housing questline, which saw me help a citizen build a shelter for those who might need it, and I got some furniture and 5,000 gold discount on my house purchase. New World does do something interesting with its housing. It's instanced, however, there are decoration points. The more items and furniture you have inside your house, the more decoration points you have. However, there is an item limit, and higher tier items grant more points. You can earn them out in the world, buy them, or craft them. If you own a particular house, you'll see your house when you walk by, but for all other houses, what you will see is the ones with the highest score. It really does make decoration matter for those of us who cherish the roleplay and more casual aspects of MMOs. There are reasons for more hardcore players to own houses in New World, as you can place chests to increase storage in that particular town, or you can, for example, place trophies to give you certain buffs. Depending on the house tier, you can have certain number of chests and trophies. For example, I got 2 out of 3 chests and 3 out of 5 trophies. Another useful thing about houses in this game is that you can teleport to your house from anywhere in the world. Each player can have up to 3 houses, and the teleport's cooldown time is tied to the tier of the house. So buying a house in the right location can save plenty of travel time, even though the map is now dotted with a lot of fast travel shrines. So the usefulness of this teleport system, yeah, it has been reduced over time as the developers improve the map navigation. But what about a game like Pax Dei? Pax Dei has been all the rage lately, and it has an amazing building system. But will it suffer from Arcage's limitations? In the FAQ for building in Pax Dei website, they have the following question. How big are the heartlands we're building in? Heartlands being the portions of the map where a player is able to claim land and build. The answer isn't really that revealing because it doesn't really say how many plots exist, but there are many heartlands and they are large. Judging by Asmongold's stream where he builds a castle with his clan, the Heartlands really did seem like enormous areas, and there are mechanics in place for build plot sharing within clans to allow for truly gigantic builds. I believe that if the servers are locked to a certain number of players that is considerably smaller than the amount of plots available, all will be well, and this game might come to have the best housing system in an MMORPG. Even though these limits and all of that, they have to be worked really well so that the game works really well. Assuming, of course, that the server player cap is in the thousands, that is. How this turns out still remains to be seen, but I am quite eager to see it in action. And of course, that this is all my opinion, and I would love to know your opinion in the comments below. Another thing that I would love to know is, what is your favorite housing system in an MMORPG? I mean, do you even play MMORPGs? If you don't, why did you watch this to the end? Well, I have been Wolf, and I'll see you on the next one.